It was in year 1991 that the people of Ghur were looking for treasure. They couldn't find the gold, but found these documents.
نام غریبه همی شهر با نام شهر خرو دیواره شهر همین کوچه ها میبودن که در قدیم شهر بوده چپش دیده همین کوچه ها گسته بودن همین شهر بوده و شارسته بوده همین شهر میگن چپش دیده همین کوچه هاش معلوم هم تو لکک معلوم بودن این همین جای دکان ها بوده همون تاقا با نام تاسه کمرا میگن تاسه کمرا
همون وقت من با او شهر خورون به ایلاق بودیم دوره انقلاب بود همونجا خانه ما همونجا بود بعد از اون ما یک چند نفر که بیامدیم دمو کمر بلند رفتیم همون سعی کردیم همون کاغذا رو یافتیم دیگه چیزی نبود که هم تو بلندش کوی اوزو باز سنگ نداره مثل کیج بریه هم تو خاک بریه خاک بود باز همون با پال کردیم تای همون زور همون کاغذا رو یافتیم بعد از اون کم بود که دوستو بسته بود جیبا ما کردیم هم تو بیامدیم دیگه انتقال دادیم همون زور رای که برفته بودیم همون زور هم بدیم واسمدار که بیادیم مرزا خواجه مهاجر بود همینجا بود به این نشون دادیم بعدی گفت یار شما خوندن نمیتونین به این میتونین باز ما یک جایی میرسون
ما 370 بود اون وقت به مردم تو شوی بود که همین قاره ها و یا زمینا رو بکنین زیر خاکی یک چیز پیدا میشه باز یک روزی ما معاون اینا تصمیم گرفتیم که بریم همین قاره رو یک دفعه سیل کنیم همونطور رفته به اینجا برابر شدن باز این اسناد مینداختن ما جمع میکنیم او خیلی اینقدر اسناد بود یک لیلین خوب پرشه بود دیگه هم برد خوردرک ها هم قدر بردن که یعنی همون بغل بخیر پخته و سحن سفید و کاغذ پرشیده بود مثل همون جای اسنادشو هرچی بود همونجا
Mirza Khaja Muhammad, as I mentioned, he was there as a refugee, and he actually bought the paper from the local people. Mirza Khaja Muhammad worked as a authority in the government. So in 2008, when we were colleagues in the governor department in Ghur province, me and Mirza Khaja Muhammad, one day he told me that I have a few documents from the Ghalmin area, and they are from 11th and 12th century. I saw the documents and I understand how important they are.
We wanted to do this because it's so incredibly important for us to understand where they came from, and to, I think, for a wider audience to understand the informality of these digs. So we wanted to document how these discoveries happen, because they themselves tell an important story about provenance. There's lots and lots of really interesting material that's come out of these documents. Also, we learn about really exciting things like female farmers who are tilling the land and who have issues with their landlords and who write letters through scribes to the landlords to make complaints, to make requests for changes and so on. So all this we can see playing out in these documents in ways we have never been able to do before at a very, very local level. These documents, after they were found, Sari and Mirza Khaja Muhammad ended up working with them and publishing this book in Persian in a Kabul edition. However, none of us here in the West knew about it. I only found out about it through a BBC Persian article that came out in 2018 or so, and started to establish contact with Nabi Sari and other colleagues, Javanshir Rasikh, also a colleague who was based in Canada at the time, and we started to collect signatures and made a petition on behalf of Mirza Khaja Muhammad, who was worried about the safety of the documents, petitioning the president at that time, Ashraf Ghani, to accept these documents into the National Archives of Afghanistan. So it was many people who were involved, but we had a small part as well in keeping these documents in Afghanistan as part of its heritage. And meanwhile, the Bodleian Library started a fellowship for Afghan scholars. And it was thanks to this fellowship scheme that we were able to bring Sari to Oxford in safety with his family. And since then, we have been working on rereading the documents which he published, because now Sari managed to get high-resolution images of them from the National Archives, which allowed us to do much more careful readings. And we've also translated them into English, and they are being published in a book together with Ophir Haim.
This is the first time we encounter documents from pre-Mongol Ghur, the region of Ghur, the homeland of the Ghurids, who controlled vast territories that consist of present-day Afghanistan and parts of Iran and the Indian subcontinent. And they teach us quite a lot about Ghurid, the Ghurid countryside. The content of these documents, we learn much about the way taxes were collected, the financial and economical mechanisms of the Ghurid state, and from which we can infer quite a lot about how these things operated throughout the medieval Islamicate world.
The Firuzkuh Papers provide new insights that our existing literary sources cannot, because otherwise we are almost entirely lacking documentary evidence from the era. So talking about our literary sources, our narrative sources, these are works that are focused almost entirely on the comings and goings of the Sultan and his military retainers, of great battles. In other words, these are sources about high politics. They're stories about the kings and generals of the society. So the Firuzkuh Papers provide us insight into the actual functioning of this massive empire on the ground as it actually impacts locals, villagers, headmen, and the like, and how that society functioned from top to bottom.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. این ذکر است که نوشته آمد از اقرار خواجه رئیس اجل محترم شرف الرجال محمد ابن الشیخ الجلیل سعید.
So here we have a typical iqrar format, so typical legal format of a document, in which it seems that they are brother and sister since they have the same patronymic, and they are freeing their kanizak, their slave girl or maidservant, who is described in quite some detail of being of Indian origin but being a Persian speaker. And then the reason for their doing so is given as receiving reward from God in the next life. So that's why they do that. And so we see the document has been stuck into Mirza Khaja Muhammad's notebook. It even has his handwriting, right?
Yeah.
Here.
And so that is a freedom document or freedom evidence.
Emancipation. And then here we have the that's
here
typical.
we have the
date. The date and the witness statements here, no?
Yeah. این اقرار به حضور من بود و کتب الحسن ابن الحسین به خطه.
So this was done in my presence, this legal act, and then we have the names of the witness, and then he says that he signed it in his own hand, in Arabic.
The Firuzkuh Papers are the oldest Persian text with the Bamiyan paper in the world, and also they are the oldest text in Persian in the National Archive of Afghanistan. And this kind of the corpus or the paper, as you know, they are the evidence of this, that situation, and we understand they are not a propaganda, they are not the making of the historian, they are just the reality of the situation on that time. Maybe they are not all the history of that time, but they are the sample of the history of that time, or the sample of the life. this discovery lead us to find more document maybe from these places, and it is important for our Afghanistan people and to understand about our history, about our language, and about our past in this document.